What are you just plain tired of hearing? We would like to thank NordVPN for sponsoring today's video. Right now on Reddit. Tired of the "Am I ugly?" posts? Both sides of them, the clearly attractive people posting asking and every single reply of lose weight. The E from my tinnitus. Just drink water. When I work in a 100-degree trapped heat building, no matter the amount of water, it will still be 100 degrees and heat stroke hot. Noise. Too much noise for my brain to handle. It gets on my nerves every day when I think about it. Too many happen, and then I get scared and started to panic and get aggressive to everything. Everything happens for a reason. Any minor deviation from normal being paraded as OMG leak, I'm so ADHD. If your penis made a noise every time it got hard, what would you want the noise to be? Lightsaber turning on noise. I'd want the lightsaber turn off noise when it goes soft, too. Metal Gear Solid accompanying bright red to appear with above the crotch, of course. Flavor Flav saying, yeah, boy. Mario Mushroom power-up sound, no explanation is needed. The canonical Hollywood movie sound for unsheathing a sword. The alert noise from Metal Gear Solid. Rubber chicken being squeezed sound. Laser mode switched from stun to kill. Default notification for iPhone text message. The noise the inflatable fiberglass thingy makes when it's inflated for relining pipes. Nuclear sirens, I want to cause chaos. I imagine a loud cartoon bowing. If you're a teenager, you better hope for phone notification sound so that you don't have to explain random boners. What do people take way too seriously? Fake outrage. Specifically, the people who were told by their TV to be outraged get way too serious and way too outraged. Fake outrage. Specifically, the people who were told by their TV to be outraged get way too serious and way too outraged. Driving. I see people lose their shit at other drivers at least a few times a week. Tailgating, honking, flipping each other off, doing crazy shit to go around people, all to get from point A to point B. Then you mix this with the people not taking it seriously enough, texting, driving drunk, etc. Madness. Does being married count? My friend wants us to help find our single friend a husband. Our single friend is doing fine and doesn't talk about wanting to be married. What other people think of them? People, this too shall pass. What is something that people don't take seriously enough? Personal responsibility, empathy, self and social awareness. Dental health, take care of those things or Mr. Skeltall will kill you in your sleep, don't dude? Mental health is often overlooked. Your vitamin D levels. You are a complicated houseplant. You gotta get outside and move at some point in the day. And simple people don't take it seriously enough 90 of the time. Eyes on the road, not the phone. Mental health. It's as important as physical health, and more people should recognize this. Time. Time doesn't wait for anyone. Time is impartial and unbiased. If you need to say something or do something, do it now. Don't wait. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. The mental anxiety caused from taking things too seriously. Under what circumstances would you stay in a sexless marriage? I did it. My late wife had cancer and sex stopped. She felt extremely guilty about it. I was too terrified to care about sex. My wife was disabled for over 4 years, and I stayed with her. My marriage wasn't based on sex, it was enhanced by it. If she would have lived longer, nothing would have changed. I still love her and miss her every day. If my partner got injured and was incapable of having or enjoying sex anymore, it isn't their fault, and although I would miss it terribly and probably feel a little miserable every time I got horny, it wasn't a choice they made to leave our sexual side behind. So why would I leave someone I loved dearly for something they couldn't help? If there was still love, commitment, laughter, friendship, loyalty, and communication. Still get cuddles though, right? Who's your favorite metal band? Deathclock because I like Duncan Hill's coffee. I've always had a soft spot for the musicianship of that band. In year, I was in the top 0.05 of In Flames listeners on Spotify. LOL. Era isn't full on metal, but they're up there. Otherwise, typical sounding metal would be Boundaries. Mastodon. These guys just keep on writing bangers. Blind Guardian, my love for them will never ever fade. I've enjoyed Lorna Shore for years, but once Will Ramos joined, I have been in love with the more symphonic direction and sound. Rammstein is love, Rammstein is life. Megadeth, heavy fast thrash metal at its finest. What is something that is way more dangerous than people think it is? Getting in and out of the shower. Epilepsy, it randomly kills people. It's referred to as sudden unexplained death in epilepsy. My 17-year-old son died from it. Not one doctor told us it was possible to die from SUDEP. Not taking care of your teeth. Gum and tooth disease have a correlation with the likelihood of having heart attack. The Great Lakes. People hear the word lake and think our inland seas, damn near ocean like violent weather. They can and will take your life. Respect them. Garage door springs. Hire a professional. They are under so much tension, they could take a finger at best and your life at the worst. Leaving an abusive relationship. Acetaminophen paracetamol Tylenol. What will always be dirty, no matter how often it's cleaned? My glasses. Seriously, does anyone else get eyebrow dandruff? Toilet bowl. Even if you would wash it by dropping a nuke on it, I wouldn't drink out of it. A clear plastic container that had pasta sauce in it once 3 years. Holy shit, my first gold. Thank you, and thanks for all the LPTs, everyone. The floor. You clean it and immediately start getting it dirty again when you stop and have to walk all over it. Dogs, forget it. Kitchen sink. I've seen some nasty videos. PLS do not use it as a bowl for preparing food in or for breading chicken. Clean them up. You step out of the house and dirty again. Smartphones, because we cannot actually wash them entirely. I try my best doing some cleaning with alcohol and a piece of cloth. Any undergarments for sale at a thrift store? What's a deal breaker for you in a relationship that might not be a big deal to others? Lack of passion, whether it be a hobby, personal beliefs, or anything in general. I like to feel wanted, so if I'm planning all the dates, initiating all the texts and calls, initiating sex every time, then it won't work out. I'm gonna feel like you're not into me and I'd rather not waste my time or yours. My ex used to go up to strangers at the grocery store and ask their opinion on random items. So that. Cigarette here. The worst non-smokers are ex-smokers. What are you going to buy yourself that costs $1,000, $3,000? I just bought it. A septoplasty and turbinectomy procedure. I didn't know what breathing properly felt like till this last Wednesday when the stints came out. Feels like my nostrils are jet turbines force-feeding my face oxygen. I truly feel a lot of my college athletic career was robbed by not being able to breathe properly. Cost $2,600 with insurance. New fluffy king-size bed, please, if I have leftover money pillows to match. Laser eye surgery. I hate glasses and don't like contacts either. It's stupid that it is elective through insurance. I will forgo $2,500 worth of appointments and tough it out so I can get the surgery. But no, that's not how insurance works for some reason. Bank account replenishment for the $3K in car repairs I just had to do. What's a fantasy fiction trope or cliche you'd be happy to never see again? Not that I'd be happy to never see it again because I think they can be fun, but prophecies are overused in my opinion. Sparing the actually evil villain due to it not being right to kill them as a hero for some reason, after slaughtering the potentially not evil, just desperate lackeys and henchmen without a thought. Bugs the crap out of me. The mentor dying or noping out as soon as the hero learns everything they can from them. What's wrong with the mentor keeping up the relationship with their student if the student learns more things that they can pass on to the mentor, like in real life sometimes? It would be a win-win situation. Lack of communication to solve simple problems. What's something besides your phone that you take with you everywhere? The rest of the Holy Trinity: phone, wallet, keys. Glasses. I dislike things in my pockets. I have even gone places without my shoes, but I need to see. My water bottle. I hardly even go into another room without bringing it. A habit I picked up and haven't lost since BMT in 2019. If we were caught without it, we got reprimanded. Going nowhere without a book. Because of that, I never mind having to wait for the bus or someone I'm seeing because I can make good use of the time. Of everyday places in this world are loud enough to cause hearing damage. Sports bars, for example. I always have either my custom-fitted plugs or a nice pair of $1.20 plugs from Amazon with me. Protecting your hearing is so important. A piece of rose quartz my girlfriend gave me when we were still getting to know each other. What's normal to you that other people find weird? I really enjoy having a day to myself without my partner or children or without catching up with friends. I like to use the time to go for a nice lunch alone and then explore the city I live in, but as a tourist, and on my own time. I look for patterns in number and things like the time, an address box, or just a bunch of random numbers. Say please and thank you to Siri. Saying thank you to my bus driver. Most nights I sleep with my feet inside of pillowcases. I'm a man who sits down to pee at other people's houses. I don't want to splatter urine in other people's bathrooms. Voluntarily waking up at 4 a.m. every single day of the week. Don't consume caffeine or alcohol, and no, I'm not Mormon, although I live like one. Sleeping with socks on, apparently. My feet get cold and uncomfortable if I sleep without them. What is the most underrated city-town in America? Centralia. Costs are pretty low, it's quiet, and there's a great underground scene. Marquette, Michigan. Beautiful town on the shore of Lake Superior. Charlottesville, about a small, historic university city with tons of restaurants and shops, attractions, vineyards, breweries, and cideries, surrounded by tons of natural and rural beauty and Blue Ridge Mountains. Mountain towns in the western U.S. near national parks. They all seem to be super friendly hippie-ish, with just enough tourism to keep them nice, but not enough to change them too much. I've always said that Minneapolis would be the perfect city if it weren't in cold as fuck sucks in the winter, but in the summer, it's awesome. Who is your favorite Canadian celebrity? Colin Mockery. Funny man. Catherine O'Hara and Norm Macdonald are up for sure. Then Martin Short and Nathan Fielder I feel like up there as well, man. Michael J. Fox, Ryan Reynolds, John Candy, Rick Moranis. Jewel State. She was lovely in Firefly and have followed her since. Three-way tie between Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, and Neil Peart. Norm Macdonald. His brand of humor could slice through culture and current events sharper than anyone. Too bad he isn't around today. Leslie Nielsen not getting enough love on here. Rest in peace, maybe not a celebrity outside the world of rock and roll, but Neil Peart has my heart. Dan Aykroyd or David Cronenberg. Ryan Reynolds. But a big shout out to celebrity astronaut Chris Hadfield. Great guy. Toss up between Mike Myers and Bryan Adams. People who sit at coffee shops to work. What are you actually doing? Hacking you so I can read your emails. Actual morning I came in and the landscapers managed to cut the internet to the building. Boss came out and handed me $1.20 and told me to go to Starbucks and hold down the fort until I got a call that everything had been restored. I owe both my master's and doctorate to Panera. Just enough going on to satisfy my ADD's need for distraction. Not enough to actually distract me. And no distraction that demands my attention, my cat's at home. A sink full of dishes. Literally anything except the work I needed to be doing. What can your body no longer handle that you used to love doing? Going down on women COVID changed my taste buds, and now vaginal secretion tastes like strong ammonia. Basically, everything outdoorsy or physically demanding in any way. My health took a nosedive over the course of a 10-year period. I used to play every sport off and on, rode hundreds of miles on my bike, liked camping, and I did a lot of work outside. Now I'm a stay-at-home cripple. I used to love running. Then came cancer and a couple bouts of COVID. I tried to get back into running when the weather started getting nicer, but my body is all sorts of fucked up now. Walking. I could walk 10 miles a day. I loved it. Drinking. Since my mid-30s, I often feel sick within an hour of having even a single drink. What's better than getting into bed with fresh bed sheets? Getting into bed with freshly shaved legs with lotion on them with fresh bed sheets that are straight out of the dryer. Getting into bed with fresh bed sheets after you've had a shower. Husband putting those sheets on the bed instead of me. Not sure, but you just reminded me to bring my sheets in, so thank you, internet stranger. Waking up thinking it's Monday to realize it's Saturday. A cold room to crawl into blankets. Getting $20 million tax-free. Getting into bed with fresh sheets. A loving partner and 2 cats in the winter. Fresh bed sheets and a super hot woman. Getting into bed with sexy hubby on clean sheets. Sheets dried outside on the line. Underwear straight from the dryer in winter. Warm bed with fresh sheets, clean pajamas, and fresh out of the shower. Fresh sheets and taking your socks off in bed after a long. Writers of Reddit. What advice would you want to give to a beginner? Carry a small notebook and pen. Ideas can come randomly. Jot them down or you will forget. Write long, as in don't spend 3 hours on a sentence. Just get it out. But when it comes to editing, be trigger-happy with the delete is sacred. Read, read, read. And write while you read. Keep writing. Post what you write. Take the criticism with a grain of salt, but do take it seriously. Don't use the same adjectives twice in a row, nor the same 2 adverbs. Keep it simple. Don't over-describe. Resist the temptation to over-explain like I'm doing right now. Let the reader infer. What's your favorite candy? Not sure if you heard of it, but it's called White Rabbit Candy Dabai Tunai Tang. But goddamn is it good. Swedish fish, they are my weakness. Jolly Ranchers, Sweet Tarts, Lemon Heads, Bitto Honey, Tootsie Rolls, Trolley Gummy Worms, Jelly Bellies, Butterscotch Alcoholic. Give me all the candy. Skittles, because I can taste the rainbow. Favorite, I can buy off the shelf high chews. Favorite, including things I can order online, applets and cotlets from Liberty Orchards are the best sweets on the planet, hands down. Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, and Tootsie Rolls. Peanut butter. Mint Hims or Red Vines if I want something less savory. Who's an actor you think can convey everything with just a look? Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, Blackadder, etc. Charles Dance when he portrayed Tywin Lannister. Edward Norton, specifically in American History X, but also Fight Club and Primal Fear. Morgan Freeman looking up over his glasses. Marlon Brando back when he was younger and also still alive. A little lesser known than the other comments I'm seeing, but Robert Carlyle. Eddie has some of the greatest pans on film. Kira Sedgwick, watch her in The Closer. Sorry, but there is an actual answer to this. Samantha Morton was nominated for an Oscar playing someone that couldn't talk in The Sweet and Low Down. It's impressive how much Pedro Pascal conveys through the Mando helmet. Robert D. look on his face as Jason Patrick told him about what happened to the 4 boys in juvenile prison in the movie Sleepers. Made me cry. If you could pick one invention as the most important in history, which would you pick and why? Printing press. Allows for books to be bought by common people. Once you can read and have access to books, your world opens up. You can learn new thoughts and skills. Books can take you to places you'll never get to travel to in real life. Gunpowder, invented over 1,000 years ago, and has impacted civilization at every level. The number 0, because why wouldn't it be the most important? The printing press, it allowed for the spread of knowledge and ideas, revolutionizing communication and shaping modern society. Dental pliers, imagine living through the nightmare of cracked teeth. The internet or nitrogen fertilizer. I wish it was me that invented the light bulb and alternating circuit. What is the biggest mistake you made? Being a people pleaser my whole life. Answering the door after just coming out the shower and my towel fell and the delivery driver saw everything. I have more regrets, things I wish I did but didn't do due to debilitating anxiety. I hate my brain. Removing my 2013 Clashmas tree. I didn't invest in Bitcoin before it blew up. Getting addicted to drugs and alcohol. Not focusing on my education, and having my relationship kids too young, 18, 28 years of a marriage, where I sacrificed myself for him to finally wake up after 28 years of marriage, and 4 grown kids that I've been a fool to think I was a priority ever. Bought roughly 60 Bitcoin at $100, held none of it. How far can you walk? As far as my feet will take me. 500 miles, and I would walk a 1,000 more. My record in one day was a 50-mile ruck, and I suffered for multiple days after. Pretty far, I guess. That's a limit that I don't want to find. Until I hit my destination, I am a kid who doesn't public transport, and if my dad is not around to go with a car, I walk. As far as the wide horizons would let me. How do you know you found the one? You finish each other's sandwiches. The book What If has a near chapter that explores the possible ramifications of souls to answer the question, I'll tell you when I find out. He can stop bullets fired at him and also fly. So she does this thing with her tongue. I'll tell you if I ever do, which is less likely than winning the lottery and simultaneously being struck by lightning. They will have a sign around their neck. Nonsensical screeching. Lol. This sounds insanely hilarious, like me and my partner. He dodges all your bullets or somehow simply stops them in midair. If they last long enough without doing something. When and how did you realize the world is full of bad people? When I was born and the doctor spanked me, I cried, and that's when I realized he was one of those bad people. It isn't full of bad people. There are bad people, but they are the minority, but loud AF. Most people are very kind, from what I perceive. When so many voted for Joe Biden. When I woken up from my 10,000 year slumber. When I saw cats dying alone. From going outside around people 5 or 6 days a week. Yeah, why are you even asking? Pretty early since I grew up with the story about my aunt being murdered. What are some lesser-known hobbies or activities that you highly recommend trying out? People should try minding their own fucking business. Every night I write in a journal. It helps distress and take inventory of life. Who is the greatest cartoon villain ever? Check PLZ, apologies if it's misspelled. Roadrunner without a Wile E. Coyote. Shigo from Kim Possible. Not because she's, like, hot or anything. Personally, I'm quite partial to the mighty monarch. David Xanatos from A Plan for Everything and makes every situation work in his favor. His evil scheme works out? Good. If the good guys foil it, then he accomplishes an entirely different goal that they didn't see coming. And if they did see it coming and still managed to thwart that plan, then he's got another one on the sidelines ready to go. King Ramses from Courage the Cowardly Dog. There are many great cartoon villains, and opinions on the greatest one vary. According to a list by Fiction Horizon, their top pick for the greatest cartoon villain of all time is Zahir from Legend of Korra. How do you deal with loneliness? Finding something passionate to do helps to distract your mind away from morose thoughts. I just accept it for now. I avoid things that can trigger it too. Now that I don't have a dog, I daydream about having a dog. Even with people around me, I often feel lonely. I'm just used to it. Not that that is great, but I'm often disappointed with PPL, so there is that. Gaming helps. Talking to clients can cheer me up. Loneliness is just a feeling, as is anger, sadness, happiness, etc. I just work through it when I feel up to worrying about it. I do not deal with it at all. At some point, it just numbs you. Ironically, by switching off my phone. A lot of the things that are supposed to make us less lonely often do the opposite by creating the false impression that other people have amazing lives and you're missing out. Now that Reddit are killing third-party apps on July 1st, what are great alternatives to Reddit? I might get back into reading books after over a decade. For context, Usenet is still there and will welcome you 43 years of activity. The same flame wars are still burning. Mine, I've exclusively used RAF since at least 2012. Real sad about this one. It's time to go full circle. The data needed to view the official app is ridiculous. I can suck through GBs a day easily, so never use it when not on the ads. They're getting worse, more frequent and shady quality. No doubt this will ramp up when there's no alternative. If Reddit is fun goes down, I'm out. If goes down, I'm out. Reddit's UIs are trash enough to drive me away. Men of Reddit, what is something women hate about their bodies that you actually love? My ex-girlfriend always complained about the size of her cheeks and how she looked like Kiko, a character from an old Mexican TV series. For me, she looked gorgeous. I loved to kiss and caress her cute, round face. Uneven breasts adds character and makes paying attention to each one a separate adventure. My wife was very self-conscious about her inverted nipples, but I adore them. Cellulite? Edgaff, what kind of phone she got? I love sleepy, set-back bedroom eyes, and I love boyish clothes on girls. So hot. I also like when a woman has a deeper voice. God, it's hot. My wife's boobs. She hates them with a passion, and I cannot figure out why. They are perfect.